What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another little review for you of a pretty cool knife. This one sent to me by way of Pass Around Group. So big shout out to Lefty for the Pass Around Group. Appreciate that. And thanks to all my subscribers, channel members, Patreons, everybody that's in the live streams and helps support me. Man, you guys are awesome. Thanks to people that all my subscribers, Patreons, and channel members, I'm able to do this kind of stuff. So really big shout out to you guys, and thanks to everyone for being just awesome in the community. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe right down there if you want to hear me ramble some more, want some more of it. I would love to have you as a subscriber if you're not already. This one, without further ado, this is the Zero Tolerance Knives 0308, kind of a classic big bulking American made knife. Kind of harkens back to their older days of zero tolerance. This is an older zero tolerance. I believe they actually just discontinued this one, but yeah, pretty interesting knife. I really like this one. It got its ups and downs. We'll go all through it here in a minute. First of all, we're going to go ahead and go through the specs and do a little bit of an overview on it. Let's see here. So from the tip of the blade to the end of the handle, looking at right at 8 7/8, I guess. Right about 8 7/8 overall. Definitely every bit of a definition of a full size to even maybe some would call it like an extra large folder. Blade length, if you measure laterally like this, right at 3 and I don't know, if you go all the way back to where the choil meets up with the handle inside of that little choil area there, it's 4 inches, but cutting edge on it, you're looking right at 3 7/8 on the cutting edge. So definitely a full-size knife. Now if you measure from the tip down this way, not including that belly that's on there, you've got actually right at 4 inches of cutting edge. So definitely a full-size knife, right? Alright, so get the calibers out here. Let's check the blade stock thickness. Thickest part of the spine. Looking at 150 thousandths. Thickest part of the spine. Go behind the edge the best way I know how anyway. Looking at right around 31 thousandths. Right there. And behind the edge on the belly, about 36 thousandths. So a decently thick knife, right? Handle thickness, I don't think the handles are going to be overly thick or anything, right at 1/2 inch. So especially for the size of that knife, not really anything crazy as far as the handle thickness. Actually feels pretty good in hand. So we'll go ahead and let's do some size comparisons. We'll get out the usual suspects here and give you a good idea how big this knife is. Here is Ontario Knives Rat Model 1. Alright, and you can definitely tell how big of a knife it is. You put the Rat 1 up next to it, right? And definitely whenever you put the Rat 2 up next to it. So yeah, definitely dealing with a big chunky knife for sure. Alright, get 2 more here. Here's your Cold Steel Knives 8010. Alright, so that'll give you another indicator of the size of this one. It's actually longer, just a hair longer overall than the 8010, and about as broad too, looks like. So yeah, and here is your Demco Knives 8020.5. That is the slicer, way bigger than the 20.5. All right, last 2 are the usual suspects. Size comparison here. Let's get out the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and your Spyderco Para 3. Whoop, help if I don't throw them around, right? Here is a standard size comparison that all channels should have, right? Any self-respecting channel ought to have that as a size comparison. There's your DeWalt hammer. And here is your 8-inch USA made crescent wrench. Standard, right? Alright. Find somewhere to put this hammer. Alright. Couple more. There's your Microtech MSI. Here's your Microtech Stitch. Both of those being the ram lock variants of the two knives. Of course, I don't think they make a. They don't make an auto MSI. So yeah, that'll definitely tell you the size of the knife you're used to handling those. And last but not least, size comparisons. Here is another ZT. The only other ZT that I currently own. That is the 0562. So yeah, even bigger than the 0562. Cutting edge, more cutting edge than the 0562. More blade length, more right about the same handle, I guess. Same handle length. Kershaw and Zero Tolerance are, of course, parent companies that are Kai USA, and they own the Zero Tolerance knives brand. Probably should have put that in the beginning of the video, right? But all right, let's go with a weight. See if we can get a weight on this bad boy. Pretty hefty knife. I mean, it's got carbon fiber on this side, and it is milled out. So, I mean, for the size of it, doesn't feel extraordinarily heavy. I would say right at 6 ounces. So, it's probably way off, but that would be my guess anyway. 6.8. So yeah, 6.8 ounces, definitely, or 6.9. We'll go with 6.9. It actually went up on that one. 6.8. So around 6.8, 6.9. Definitely over the ounce and inch ratio. But you know, I'm thinking if you wear, you know, if you're wearing like some blue jeans or work pants, something like that, something kind of heavy, you know, thick canvas, denim, blue jean material like this, it's not really that big of a bother in the pocket. I know if I'm wearing gym shorts, I can definitely notice that it's there, but if I'm wearing blue jeans or you know, work pants, don't notice it as much. Doesn't have a deep carry clip. The clip works just fine in my opinion. I think it's a pretty good clip there on that, but that's how it carries in the pocket with the old blue jeans there. And let's see, let's get out the, where is my, here it is. All right, we'll get out the T8. I think it's T8 on the body. Yeah, T8. T8. All right, so T8 on the body hardware on this side, and your lock bar hardware, T8 again. All right, so all the body screws and the lock bar screws are T8. This, surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, is T6, I'm thinking. Put that in there. Yeah, it's a T6, which I don't know why they didn't just use a T8 for all of them. That would have been pretty nice. And it looks like, to me, let me know in the comments if you guys have a 0308, but I think you need a special tool, right, to disassemble it with. Maybe, right, because it doesn't have a Torx bit in the pivot, so you might need some kind of, or something that I'm not seeing anyway, but yeah, kind of difficult on the hardware on this one. I wouldn't give it an A on hardware anyway, with the T6s being on the pocket clip and the T8s being all the way around. They should use T8s there, and it'd been nice if they would have used like a Torx bit. The pivot does look pretty cool. We'll go ahead and go into kind of like the review section, my thoughts on it and all that. So I think the T8, you know, would have been nice on the pivot, but the way it looks is pretty cool. You know, I like the way the pivot looks on this one. And at first, the first time I ever saw this knife, before I watched any videos on it or got it in hand or whatever, I thought this was like a slide, right, that you pull back. Maybe that's just me. I don't know if anybody else thought the same thing, first of all, but yeah, that being open right there, that's what I thought. But it's just kind of like a design aesthetic, I guess, of the knife, which is pretty neat. You know, it definitely makes it unique. So we'll go into the materials. You got carbon fiber, kind of like a nice, I don't know what to call that type of carbon fiber, but I like the carbon fiber that they use on the show side on this one. You can get it in different materials too. And this side is, of course, titanium with a pretty cool looking, kind of the same pattern on the titanium as you got on the carbon fiber on the other side. They didn't put a back spacer in here, which is a bummer. That would have been kind of a nice touch, I think, but you got some pretty cool cool looking barrel spacers there. Kind of go along with the aesthetic of the knife, kind of tactical overbuild, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Lanyard hole right there doesn't really hurt anything. I mean, you could put a lanyard on there if you want to, and you can put the clip, you can take it off of this side and put it on this side, so it is ambidextrous in that manner. But you'll still be dealing with the frame lock, which locks out pretty solid, I think. You know, if you're left-handed, you'll still be opening and closing it with the frame lock, you know, backwards. They might make left-handed versions of this. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, you got a little bit of billboard in there. Not too much. It's all smaller print, which is good. But 0308 Kai USA symbol on there. It's in-house design USA, M390 on the blade steel. And there's your serial number, which is 0393 on this one. And then 0 tolerance on the front there. If I own this knife, which I don't, I would definitely give thought to stonewashing. I think it would look really cool with those kind of logos and writing and everything faded with a nice stonewash on it. But yeah, the action on it is really good. I like the action just fine. Got the KBT, I think it is, ball bearing, multi-row bearing system. Whenever you push the lock, the frame lock over, right about there, looking at it, is where it clears that detent. And once it clears the detent, it just kind of doesn't drop shut, but kind of falls shut. And a lot of that's due to you know, the smoothness of the bearings, yeah, but also the weight of the blade. It is a pretty broad, you know, a pretty long, broad blade, as we covered earlier in the video. But yeah, I like this little swedge kind of swoop up there that they got on it. Pretty cool looking. Nice grind on it. Even for satin, I think it looks pretty good. It is a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, but not as big as some other ones I've seen. Got some jimping right there. Ergonomically, I think it's just fine. Choke back, I guess if you could call this choke back. Definitely a full 4-finger grip on there. I wear a large size glove. I have average size hands, I guess. So you choke back on it, full 4-finger grip, choked up. You can get under here, you know, because that flipper tab is not extremely prevalent right there, sticking out. You can kind of get under there for a little bit of close-up work and feel pretty locked in right there, but you definitely can't, you know, grip it like that. So kind of get the trigger pull there with your thumb on that jimping. That works too, and it feels really solid like that, surprisingly so. Again, the flipper tab, got some jimping right there on the flipper tab, and good shape for that flipper tab too, because this is pretty much like, this is the way you're wanting to pull this whenever you actuate it. Flipper only, but a flipper only that I would definitely consider owning one day. It's not bad for a flipper only. The 0 tolerances that I have handled that are flipper only, just like the 0562, no issues with that flipper at all. Definitely a different flipper, the way that it's curved back like that in shape, but it works really good. Great action on that knife as well. So the flipper tab works pretty fine on this one. Overall, I would say this is an awesome knife. I would probably am going to put it actually on my most recommended knives playlist, and on my USA made knives playlist for sure. But definitely a recommendable knife, I would think. Just a big hulking, you know, bruiser of a folding knife, and that's the style of 0 tolerance that I really like. So that's pretty much it, guys. I appreciate everyone watching. Again, shout out to Lefty in the Passing Around group for sending me this knife. Really awesome of him, and the Pass Around group to be able to do that. You know, otherwise wouldn't have been able to try it myself. So pretty cool. Hit the like button if you like my content. Subscribe if you want more of it. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you all so much, and I will see you guys on the next one.